Hello again, and welcome to this week's preview of our message. We hope that you're having a good, a safe, and a blessed week. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. This verse in Jeremiah is often thought of when we need comforting assurance of God's guidance in our life. And there's one word used 3 times in this verse that just jumps out at me. The word is plans. And when I think of a plan, I can't help but think of what's involved in understanding and following a plan. For instance, have you ever bought something that came with the cautionary note, "Some assembly required"? Well, with those 3 simple words, "some assembly required," a whole host of outcomes are possible. You can start by following the step-by-step instructions laid out by the manufacturer, or you can begin, just like most other men and I do, just plowing in and thinking you'll figure it out as you go. Of course, when we've completed this assembly, we're not really sure why they included all those extra parts anyway. And then there are plans that were written in another language, perhaps Chinese or Korean, and something critical just didn't make the translation. There are other kinds of plans. Now, I think back to the summer I graduated from high school. That summer, before leaving Pensacola for college, I decided to take a class at the local junior college. The class that I decided to take was architectural drawing. Now, I'll be the first to admit the reason I was taking the class was not because I actually was interested in becoming an architect. But you see, there was a girl. Her name was Sandy. She lived just up the street from where I lived, and I wanted to impress her. Her father was the instructor of the class. It didn't take me long, however, to realize there were a few critical things that I was missing. First, I was actually pretty good at the design part, but the truth was there was no way I would ever be able to make money as an architect. I was just too slow. Secondly, I developed a real respect for all of the details contained in a good set of plans. At least something good did come out of the class, however. No, I didn't impress Sandy. Instead, I left Pensacola, never to see her again. But my first job at college was as an apprentice draftsman for Collegedale Caseworks. Let me just say that it wasn't pretty. Yep, I was right. I was just too slow for them to make any money off of my drawings. Now think of what a good set of plans are designed to do. They have all of the details needed to complete the project. It specifies things like footings, wall structure details, electrical and plumbing diagrams, exterior elevations, and much, much more. When accurately executed, the plans translate a series of lines on a page into a thing of beauty, form, and function, something that is designed to last. In order to be successful, the builder has to follow the plan. He can't do like I have the tendency to do, strike out on his own and only refer to the instructions in case of emergency. As I mentioned earlier, Jeremiah 29:11 tells us God has a plan for our life. And earlier in that same book, God told Jeremiah that before he was formed in the womb, he knew him. Before he was born, he had a plan for him. God has a special plan for each one of us. And the success of his plan in our life is not dependent on an audible voice offering us every direction. Instead, by making Jesus the center of our life, he expresses his deep love for us by sending us the Holy Spirit to guide us in following his plan. Even when the plan doesn't make sense or we can't see what the future holds, God assures us that his thoughts and his purposes are not our thoughts or our purposes, and our ways are not necessarily God's ways. this week to follow God in His plans. And until then, have a blessed week.